If we want to change our lives, we're often told that we need to think big, make drastic changes, or perhaps even move across continents. But what if we could achieve major transformations just through small changes to our daily routines? We all tend to overestimate the importance of single actions and underestimate the power of making small improvements repetitively over a longer period of time. Real change comes from the compound effects of hundreds of small decisions or small habits that over time accumulate to produce remarkable results. Compounding can be amazingly powerful, both positively and negatively, if we leave it to develop over a period of time. If we can get 1% better each day for a year, we'll end up 37 times better by the time we're done. But if we get 1% worse each day for 1 year, we'll go down nearly to zero. As James says in his book, habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I've decided to start a new series on this channel where every month I'll be reviewing and discussing one book. So for this month, I'll be discussing one of the most popular books, that is The Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm sure that you must have heard of this. And so in today's video, I'll be covering up few ways in which you can build good habits and break the bad ones. The power of compounding and also some of my key takeaways from this book. So let's get started. Now, the first step to building better habits is to focus on systems instead of setting goals. James points out 4 problems with goal setting in his book. First is that winners and losers tend to have the same goals. Now, we're often told that in order to win, we need to set goals for ourselves. But we know that all the participants participating in a competition have the same goal, that is to win. But not all of them end up winning the game, right? So now we know that there is no correlation between setting goals and achieving success. Instead, you need to focus on building systems, that is the processes that will help you achieve that goal. For example, if you were a coach, your goal would be to win a championship, but the processes or the systems that would help you achieve that goal would be to building a balanced team or taking regular practices and getting improvements day by day. Second problem with goal setting is that achieving a goal is a momentary change. For example, if you gather all the motivation to clean your room on a given day, but you'll notice that after a few days your room gets messy again. So again, over here you need to focus on the systems, a system that would help you lead a better organized life where you will be accumulating a lot of less clutter. Another problem is that goal restricts our happiness. We often think that once we achieve that goal, we'll become happier. So the problem with goal setting is that it tends to postpone our happiness until we achieve the next milestone. Next problem is that goals are at odds with long-term progress. So over here I would like to mention a quote from the book. The purpose of setting goals is to win the game. The purpose of building habits is to continue playing the game. So it's okay if you lose a game on a given day. What is important is that you are regularly making progress. You're regularly practicing and getting better each day. So over here I would like to mention another quote by Bill Walsh, which says that the score takes care of itself. So as long as you're focusing on getting better each day, you do not need to worry about the success. It will eventually follow. Next point to build better habits would be to change your identity. Now there are 3 levels of change. First would be outcome change, which is the goals or the results that you're looking for. Second would be process change, which means your systems. And the third would be identity change, which is your belief. Now a lot of change is driven from outcome, process, and then identity. But instead it should start from identity change, process change, and then your outcome change. For example, a lot of times when we join a gym, our main goal or our main reason for joining that gym would be to lose weight, which is an outcome driven change. But instead the change should be identity driven change. For example, maybe you want to join the gym because you want to live a more healthier life. You want to become a healthier person. That means identity change. So all of your change should be driven from identity, then process, and then outcome. Another example would be that maybe you want to read a particular book. So instead of thinking that you want to finish this book, maybe you should think about becoming a reader, a regular reader. Second would be maybe you want to learn an instrument. So instead of setting the goal of learning that instrument, you can set the goal of becoming a musician. Another example would be that maybe you want to finish a marathon. So instead of finishing that one marathon, maybe you can think of becoming a regular runner. So changing your identity would help you stick to your habits better. Next point would be to follow the 4 laws of behavior change to adopt better habits in your life. First would be to make it obvious. Now, for a long time, I had been trying to adopt this habit of eating dry fruits regularly, but I always had my dry fruits kept in a box inside my cupboard. So what I did was that I took it out and I now keep it somewhere beside my table where I see it regularly. So once I see it regularly, it becomes more obvious for me to go and eat it. Second would be to make it attractive. Now, for example, you have decided that you will be cleaning your room on a given day. So in order to make it attractive, maybe you can play some music while you're doing the activity, and thus it would make it more attractive and you would be following it more regularly. Third would be to make the response easy. For example, if you want to build a habit of going to gym every morning, what you can do is that you can prepare all your clothes and all your gym gear a night before, so that once you wake up it's all ready. Obviously make the response more easy and you would be going to the gym more regularly. Fourth would be to make the reward more satisfying. So as it says in the book, what is immediately rewarded is repeated, what is immediately punished is avoided. So a lot of times when we perform an activity, we want instant gratification, that instant dopamine hit. One of the examples for this would be watching reels on social media. A lot of time that activity is repeated because we get that instant satisfaction as soon as we watch a reel. We get that instant dopamine hit. So make sure that whatever habit you are following, you get that instant dopamine hit. So for example, you decide to hit the gym every single day. So once you've reached the gym, make sure that you start your exercise with your most favorite workout, and that would give you the instant gratification that is needed. Next point to adopt good habits and get rid of bad habits would be to maintain a habit scorecard. Now it's very important to realize what are the good habits that you want to adopt and what are the bad habits that you need to get rid of. So what you can do is, for a given day, you note down each and every habit, each and everything, each and every activity that you do from the time you wake up. So it would go like that: you woke up at this time and then you went to brush your teeth, you made tea for yourself, you had breakfast, and all the activities listed down like a list. And at the end of the day, you can start marking those activities as good habits, bad habits, and neutral habits. And so you'll figure out what are the bad habits that you tend to do in a day, and you might try to get rid of them. This would help you save a lot of time, help you become more productive once you get rid of all your bad habits. And so hence this is another way to get aware of what all habits you need to build and what all habits you can get rid of. Next point would be to start a new habit by following the implementation intention formula. So now what is implementation intention formula? It is that I will start this habit at this point and at this location. So you need to pair up a time and a location with the new habit. For example, I will study for mathematics at 6 p.m. for 2 hours in the library. So once you pair it with the time and location, it becomes easier for you to stick to that habit. Next point is habit stacking. Now in case of habit stacking, rather than pairing your habit with location and time, you pair it with another existing habit. For example, you decide that you'll make your bed as soon as you get up in the morning, or you might decide that you will meditate for 10 minutes after having breakfast. So having breakfast is an existing habit that you would anyways do every day. So you pair it with a new habit, and that would make it more easier for you to follow it. Next point is environment over motivation. So you need to set up your environment in such a way that it supports your habits or it helps you build those good habits that you want to. So you need to have different cues designed in your environment. So as I had used another example earlier where I wanted to build a habit of eating dry foods and I kept the dry food somewhere where I can see it more regularly. So again, if you want to have more water in a day, make sure that you have water bottles kept beside your bed table, which would make it easier for you to have it whenever you want. So there's another quote from the book that says, people often choose products not because of what they are, but because of where they are. Now this is true for psychology as well, because whenever we go to shop in a mall, for example, you're going to buy books and you have an entire shelf of books kept, but it is often found that whatever is kept at your eye level, you tend to buy those products more. Maybe you might miss out a book that is kept at the bottommost shelf or at the topmost shelf, but there are more chances that you would buy a book that is kept at your eye level. The same works if you want to get rid of your bad habits. Suppose you want to eat more healthy food, so make sure that you have no junk food kept in your home. You have more fruits kept at your table, so you might end up eating them more. Next way to build better habits would be to maintain a habit tracker. Now I'm sure that you all must have heard about habit tracker. There are several apps available for habit tracker as well, or you can maintain it over a sheet. So you tick every day once you have done that habit, and it gives you all the motivation and instant satisfaction, gratification once you maintain that. Benjamin Franklin used to maintain a habit tracker since the age of 20. He used to do it for 12 virtues that he followed. So it is a very effective way of maintaining or building a habit. Another important point I would like to mention over here is that never miss a habit twice in a row. Now the book also says that missing once is an accident, missing twice is the start of a new habit. So make sure that you're repeating your habit every day and keeping a track of it using a habit tracker. Next point would be to get an accountability partner. So if you're trying to build a new habit, maybe you can get an accountability partner. That could be your friend, your parents, your spouse, anybody that you trust. You can have an accountability partner. Now I would like to share here an example of James Clear himself. He said that while he was writing this book, he used to ask his assistant to change the password of all his social media accounts on every Monday, and that would log him out of all his social media accounts, and he would give him the login details on every weekend, that is for Saturday and Sunday, and again on the following Monday he would reset the passwords. So this would help James Clear to stay on track and do not get distracted by the social media. So similarly, you can have an accountability partner, share your goals with them, and they would help you stick to the habits. Last but not the least is the Goldilocks rule, which says that do your habit in such a way that it isn't too easy or too hard. So for example, if you are a tennis player and you decide to play against a 4-year-old, you would very soon get bored because you will be any which ways winning all the points. And suppose you have to play against Roger Federer, then you will lose all the motivation because he's like a professional tennis player. And then suppose that you have to play against someone who is at your level. So then you would be losing some points, you would be winning some points, and your focus would be narrowed. You will lose all the distractions and you will enter into a flow state where you will be fully invested in the task. So whenever you're deciding a habit for yourself, make sure that it is not too hard for you to achieve and not even too easy for you to achieve. As human beings, we love challenges. So make sure that you design your habit in such a way that it has challenges, but it is not also very difficult to achieve. And I would like to end this video with another quote from the book that says, if you want to master a habit, the key is to start with repetition, not perfection. So that is it for today's video, and I hope that you might have found some useful insights from this video. But that does not mean that you would not go and read the book. The main purpose of this video was just to give a gist of what is there inside the book. So make sure that you go and read that book. It is one of my favorite books, and this book alone has the power to change your life. So yes, read that book and let me know some of your insights, some of your key takeaways from this book. You can write down in the comment section as well. Also, you can let me know in the comment section if there's any other book that you want me to discuss for the coming months, and I'll do that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure that you like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll see you in another video next week. Until then, goodbye.